Happy Friday, everybody. Andy and Steve from WagerTalk.com. Welcome to the Road to Millions. We got a jam-packed show. We're going to go over NFL best bets. We got NBA props, NHL props, sleeper of the day, and a stat of the day. And Steve is going to give out his official survivor pick. Make sure you hit the like button and leave us a comment. We have some incredible comments, and you guys are doing a great job. So we teased a special announcement. Unfortunately, we're 1 day away, so we got to wait and do it on Sunday. Apologize for that. So we can't do it at the time of recording, but Sunday morning, 100% will be there. So we have to look at some of these comments. These are just great. So Shane, the pics in the video were fire. We did crush yesterday. We crushed picks.
It was we killed it yesterday on yesterday's show.
Drake, I have a stat of the day. Iowa's punted 797 more yards than total yards gained on offense. That's an incredible one. That's an incredible stat. So, Nick, sorry, we will announce it on Sunday. Giannis comes out angry after his ejection last night. I'm kind of mad at myself, Steve. I did a breakdown for the Pacers and Bucks, and in there I said something to the fact that, Wilt has the record for 100 points in the game. I was like, Giannis could give it a run for the money against the Pacers. And I was like, he's going to score 50. And then he had 54. Oh, I should have made that. That would have been such a great cash. Drew Biggs, player prop to follow. CP3 under 1.5 turnovers. That's a good one. Pageant. David, I love you calling him Pageant. So, had over 220 yards last 2 games. Panthers D a crap take the over. You mean Bryce Young threw for more yards than Pageant did? Amazing.
Game was ugly last night.
It was pretty bad. So, Steve, where are you finding Ravens team total 19.5? It's on DraftKings, right?
It was on DraftKings. It had went up though. But
Okay.
I had researched that one in the morning, and then when I had looked at it, when I saw that comment, it had went up. I think you can get 20.5 at that same price now, which a little not quite as good, but still a good price though for the Ravens this weekend.
Um, Tony Mac, I love you. It's all in good fun. I told you it's easy to get under the skin of Michael Jordan fans.
Yeah,
It's
we got
just,
one. When I saw that comment, I was like, we got one.
yeah, Jordan never lost in the finals. Kobe did. And I said, hey, Jordan also lost a lot in the early rounds. So, and then all you have to add is LeBron is too good. So I love you, Tony. Thanks for playing along. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So leave your positive vibes. Hey, we're coming off a 3-0 night. I did not put in a Thursday night football play because the other plays were going great. So we cash NHL, we cash women's college basketball, and we cash our cross sport parlay. So having a really, really good night. We're up over 6 units, I believe, for the week. So thoroughly enjoying the week so far. So what do we have up for today? Let's keep momentum going. We got our NFL 5% hammer time that is up. We have our NCAA team total that is up 8-2 this season. NHL best bet 9-5. Low volume, but I got it. But I mean, we've won 3 this week, and I put up a play. I put up a small play because I want to protect those profits. So even if it loses, we're still going to be up and having a really good NHL week. If it wins, that's 4-0, and we'll just be done for the week, and we'll take the hockey profits. So, yeah, looking forward to cashing some more here. I believe we'll have an NBA play a little bit later, but use the promo code ALL30 ALL30 gets $50 off a 30-day pass. It'll get you all these plays for this weekend. It'll get you women's college basketball. It'll get you all percentages on all sports. Take advantage of it now. The record last year for women's college basketball was nothing short of insane. We've already cashed 2 in a row. We are off and running. And for those of you that don't know about women's college basketball, they're on the domestic. A lot of them are on the domestic books this year. That is different, and this market is completely changing. You see a lot of them on DraftKings. Barstool has most of them. If you're looking for offshores, Heritage has them. So look around, but there are a lot more books that are offering them this year. It's very, very exciting for us because what we did last year, bringing in over 109 units. 109 units in women's college basketball in
Amazing.
one season was nothing short of incredible. So, but if you want to get all of them, just use a promo code all30. It gets $50 off a 30-day pass. All right, let's do 4 NFL best bets here. Where do we start? I'll start with Rashad White. I do not know why the line went down. It was 27.5 last week. He flew over it, and it's down to 24.5. I'm guessing it's because he's got a tough matchup. I don't care. The Titans just they haven't faced great receiving running backs. They've allowed a couple of guys to go over, like Zach Moss went over, Jalen Warren went over. So I'm just going back to Rashad White, who's better as a pass catcher than he is as a running back. He's going to get targets. I don't know why the number went down. It scares me, Steve. I'm wondering if they're luring me into a trap. We've seen this, but the numbers speak for themselves. He's just constantly going over this total. He's been a cash every week for the last 4 weeks. So I'm going to take Rashad White over his receiving. Speaking of receiving, you like Deontay Johnson. Let's see. We lost Steve here. I'll go over my second one before when Steve gets back. So Jared Goff, I'm going over 266.5 passing. Steve's back. Steve, I'm going to go over Jared Goff passing. Listen, you don't need to overthink this one. The Chargers have given up over the passing total to all 8 quarterbacks they faced this year. They are the single worst passing defense in the league. This is just rinse and repeat. Take the opposing quarterback against the Chargers. Take them over their passing yards. So I'll take Jared Goff. Amon-Ra St. Brown's healthy. Sam Laporta is healthy. They're getting David Montgomery back, which I would, on the surface you might say, well, that might hurt his passing yards. I think it helps extend drives, more balanced offense. I think Goff ends up going way over. So, Steve, start with Deontay Johnson. What do we like about his receiving?
So he's cleared this total in each of his last 3 games, and you see Jair Alexander has been missing practice. He didn't practice yesterday, and he's questionable with a shoulder injury. So I'm expecting him to miss this contest, or at least be limited in it at the very least. And the interesting thing here is the Pack played the 7th highest amount of zone coverage in the league at 81% of the time, and Johnson's been the leading receiver for the Steelers since he's come back with 17 targets against the zone since his return. So he should have some nice chances here without Alexander on the field, and he's been clearing this total regardless of who he's played anyway. So I really love this play as an over this week. Moving on to Barkley's under 62.5. He's a guy that's actually cleared this total pretty much every time he's touched the field. And it kind of seems like a small total when you think about Barkley, but I'm just looking at the game script of this game. Dallas is going to be able to really focus in and stack the box. They're not going to be worried about DeVito throwing on them. It's not even going to be a concern. It's not even going to be a concern.
Hold on.
It won't even be a concern. So that this is just more about Dallas stacking this box and not letting Barkley get out into space. And then on top of it, we could very easily see a blowout in this one where towards the end of the game they're giving Barkley a little bit less carries.
I like this look because the books are onto it too. Like, this is a very low total for Saquon Barkley, but it looks like they see the same thing you do, which is like all Dallas has to do is put a guy or two in the box, and that thing's.
That's why, based on his totals, this is a low total. This is a low total. That's why I feel like the books know something as well. I agree.
They know something. Yeah, they know who's quarterbacking that team.
Yeah, right.
My God. So, all right, there's your 4 NFL best bets. Rashad White over receiving, Deontay Johnson over receiving, Jared Goff over passing, and Saquon Barkley under rushing. Don't forget to hit the like button and leave us a comment here. Sleeper of the day. I was all over this one, as were you. We didn't even need to talk about it. What a great number the books have given us on Will Levis, right?
Yeah, I love this play this week. He's cleared this total by a wide margin, as you can see there, with 262 and 238 in both of his games that he started. And then on the other side of things, the Bucks, they've only held Fields and Carr under this total this season. And Carr had a shoulder injury at
Yeah,
the
Carr
time.
was hurt. Absolutely.
And then the Fields was week 2. It was early in the year, and they weren't clicking. They never really clicked, regardless. Maybe one game with that big DJ Moore game, but other than that. And speaking of big games, we saw CJ Stroud 470 against Tampa Bay. The other interesting thing here is that Levis isn't dinking and dunking. He's tied for the second most 20-yard completions in the 2 games since he's become a starter in these last 2 games. And the Bucs defense, they're allowing the second most yards, passing yards, 294 per game. And they also have the second highest deep pass rate in the game. So they're vulnerable, not just against the pass, but against the deep pass. It's a stout run defense where they should be able to contain Derrick Henry. So this total just seems way too low to me. It's a nice low total that he should be able to clear pretty easily.
It's a head scratcher. I don't know where they pulled this number from, but I'm with you on this one. So yeah, there was one of those we didn't even talk about it, and I saw you put that play. Yep, that's I'm on that one as well. So Will Levis is your sleeper. Speaking of Mr. C.J. Stroud, stat of the day: Josh Allen, Jimmy Garoppolo, Sam Howell, and Mac Jones have all thrown 9 interceptions each. C.J. Stroud has thrown 1. That's fewer than Blaine Gabbert this year, Mitch Trubisky this year, and Clayton Tune. They've all thrown 2. He's only minus 150 to not throw an interception. I mean, he just doesn't turn the ball over. Amazing. So,
like, Panthers got to be questioning themselves, drafting young ahead of Stroud. I know it's early. It's still very early, but man, Stroud's looked just amazing.
I mean, C.J. Stroud also gets to throw to Nico Collins and Tank Dell and Dalton Schultz. Meanwhile, Adam Thielen had 10 targets last night.
It is a good point. He does. He is lacking the weapons, that's for sure.
Like T.J. Shark was out. It was like that. That alone is bad when they say like, well, DJ Chark's out. He's missing one of his weapons. Like, how many teams would use DJ Chark anyways if he was healthy? So I'm not ready to throw in the towel on Bryce Young, but there were a couple of throws where it was like, yikes. There was one where he rolled out to his left and he had a guy wide open and he just air mailed it over that. It would have been an easy catch for yards after the catch, and it didn't even hit the guy's hands. It was so bad. So
I know the exact play you're talking about, and the guy was wide. He was wide open, and there were some other ones too where he threw it in, and it almost should have been a pick. You know what I mean? There was like almost the one that was like a pick six that just got knocked off one of the defender's hands. So he's got some work cut in front of him, but I like Stroud so far.
Let's do your survivor pick here real quick. I'm eliminated. Pickings are getting slim. You're going with the Bengals this week. Yeah,
it's the biggest spread that I have available, and that's what I've been rolling with, and it's been working. I really considered like taking we have the head-to-head rivalry this week in Germany with the Patriots and the Colts, and it seems like there's even more on the line for the Patriots now. But with the there's some rumors swirling around here about Belichick potentially not them potentially firing him if they were to lose to the Colts. I don't see it, but
never happen.
I can't imagine it. Yeah, I just can't imagine they wouldn't let him at least finish out a season that he was in the middle of. It's a lost season anyway at this point. But yeah, the Bengals against the Texans, they're at home, and biggest spread on the board. Like you said, slim pickings here, so it's my favorite play that I still have available to me.
I was like, we talked about the game at the beginning of the season. Like, oh, that'll be an awesome week for us to talk about. Like, talk about a letdown. It's Gardner Minshew. It's Mac Jones. It's in Germany. Like, I was thoroughly expecting to have fun this week, and I'm with you. I could not care less about this game. I mean, are we both trying to lose?
At this point, it definitely lost a lot of potential. Neither team really doing very much, so it's a kind of a down game for a head-to-head rivalry between the two of us.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to some NBA props. There's one that just jumps out to me. I don't even need to talk about a whole lot of games. We'll get to it, but we'll go through some of these games. We can start with the 76ers at the Pistons. If you guys have been following my plays, we're using these alt assist lines, and they've just been beautiful. We cash on Banchero last night. he hits his alt line over and he goes under on the regular line. So these alt lines have been very, very valuable. I'm looking at going back to D'Anthony Melton to go over 2.5, but what worries me is the spread. I'm trying to avoid the blowout, so I don't think I'm going to get to the window in this game. The spread worries me. 76ers are playing good. This Pistons team isn't very good. Do you like anything in this game?
The one thing that stands out to me is that the Pistons, they're dealing with plenty of injuries, and they're turning the ball over a ton, and the Sixers are forcing a ton of turnovers. So this one really has blowout written all over it to me. I'm looking at a Pistons team total under for this
Oh,
one.
okay.
That's the direction I would look for this game. Like I said, I just feel like it's going to be a situation here where the Pistons they've already struggled to score, and now if they turn the ball over a ton, it's just gonna this one has blowout written all over it.
Cade Cunningham's turnover number is 4.5, and it's minus 160. Yikes.
Yeah,
Absolutely
because he
yikes.
consistently goes over. Yeah, it's amazing.
'Cause you're right. The reason it's that is because he consistently goes over. Yeah, 107.5 on the team total. Um, so last night the Pacers and Bucks had a huge total for the game. They went over. I talked about the Pacers and the Jazz the night before. They had a huge total in the game. It went over. The Hawks and the Thunder had a huge total in the game. It went over. The Hornets and Wizards, they check all the boxes. These teams are very fast paced. They're top. I can pull it up. They're top. Let's see. Look at pace here first. So, yeah, Washington is number one. Charlotte's number two. I mean, there you go. This team is just going to be flying up and down the court. Defensive efficiency, Charlotte is 27, Washington is 28. I mean, this is going to be a fast-paced team, and you know they're going to get good looks. I think I'm going to ride the trend when these game totals are this high. They're that high for a reason, and we've seen these high totals hit. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm taking the over in this one. Anything you like?
Yeah, it kind of goes hand in hand with what you're saying. I'm looking at Mark Williams over 22 and a half points plus rebounds. These teams both play at a fast pace, fourth fastest and fastest, and the Wizards giving up the third most points and most rebounds to opposing centers, so they're pretty vulnerable, obviously, to his position. And I saw a little quote with the coach saying that they need Williams on the court for his defense, and that they're lost without him out there. So I'm expecting him to have his full minutes tonight.
Okay. All right. We need Mark Williams for defense. Okay.
They
Sorry.
need him in the paint.
I don't mean to laugh, but I do mean to laugh. So Hornets and Wizards. So Nets and your Celtics. I believe we're waiting on some injury reports in this game. Let me. Or no, it looks like they're gonna have their full lineup. Claxton is still out and Simmons is out and Cam Thomas is out. So we do have lineups right now for this game. Uh, Nets plus 12. I'm not getting in the way in the Celtics. I find your team hard for player props outside of Porzingis. Haven't even really looked at him. I know Jaylen Brown's kind of struggling. Maybe unders on him. I don't know. Besides Porzingis, I've stayed away from your team.
It's kind of been that way for a little while. I feel like with Tatum and Brown, sometimes you can't really pinpoint which one of them is going to have the big night. I know you mentioned Brown, and turnovers for him have been an issue, especially last game. And with the Nets missing so many key pieces and Boston losing a couple straight here, I think that this potentially it could be another blowout here. But just a lean on that one for me.
Timberwolves and Spurs. I don't mess with spreads, but that minus 6.5 is screaming. Take it. This is the number one defensive team in the league. This Timberwolves team, man, like, I'm not putting him in the elite of the elite, but boy, they're making a strong case for it. Like, they've kind of figured out this Gobert and Towns thing. This is a young Spurs team, and I mean, your boy is still running the point in San Antonio, and even Pop. Did you hear Popovich said something about it? He was like, "Yeah, I
No,
know it's
no.
not the." He's like, "Yeah, I know it's not the best spot to be in." So, uh, this team, the Spurs, with Sohan at point against the number one defensive team in the league, I think the Timberwolves roll here.
I'm with you. I would not be taking the Spurs with the points here. If I was going to be going for a spread here, I love the Timberwolves in this spot, but I also love Wembanyama under his 17 and a half points tonight. You talked about the Wolves'
Yeah.
great defense, number one in points allowed per game, and they're fourth in points, fourth best at points allowed in the paint. That's where, he does a lot of his damage. And this one, I feel like has a lot potential. I've said it a couple times today, the blowout potential here. And if that's the case, I could see him sitting late in this game. So I like the under for him in this one.
Yeah, team total 116 and a half, Spurs 109. Whew, 109. That is a lot against the number one defensive team. What's the next game we got up? Jazz and Grizzlies. Here's another one that's really fast paced. We hit Jordan Clarkson over his alt line assists. I would go right back to it against this Grizzlies team. This seems to be another fast paced game. High total of 229. I can't really get a feel on the Grizzlies. Haven't played them at all. Clarkson assists is the only thing I'm looking at on the alt line. Is a really nice parlay piece. You like anything in this one?
This is a pass for me.
Pelicans and the Rockets. Our boy Sengun. We actually did good on Sengun last year. He's been good. This Rockets team hasn't been terrible. I haven't gotten to the window on any of these props, but it seems like they might have something working there in Houston. Problem is Sengun's a game time decision tonight, so I can't do anything with this game.
Yeah, I'm off of this one as well. You are right, though. The Rockets have been playing some pretty solid defense, and on the other side of things, no CJ and question mark with Zion. So a lot of question marks in this one. So it's a pass for me.
Yeah, Rockets 4-3, lost their first three, won four in a row. Good for
Yeah,
them. Do you got question for you? Is Ime even a topic of discussion in Boston?
no, I
I
never hear
What a
anything. It's
missed
never.
opportunity. It just feels like, man, he was made for that team.
He really was. Yeah, it was unfortunate circumstances. That's for sure.
Clippers and Mavericks. Here's my favorite play of of the night, Steve. You're gonna have to explain this one to me. So we have a Clippers team who traded for Harden. Since then, they've played the Knicks and the Nets. They've scored 97 points against the Knicks and 93 against Brooklyn. There is video out of James Harden partying after a loss on a woman's TikTok video, just hammered at the bar, sing along with some kind of song. This is another road game, so they've gone. Uh, they're at Los Angeles, then at New York, then they stay there, then they're in Brooklyn, and now they're at Dallas. Dallas not the best defensive team, but this team total for the Clippers is 117 and a half. You want me to believe these guys are going to all of a sudden get it together and score 20 more points, 24 more points than they have been? No shot. Clippers under their team total. I think this team stinks, man.
Yeah, I mean, I right at this point, I have to agree with you. And I mean, the total does seem, man, that seems really high for a team that
Pretty ambitious.
hasn't been able to crack 100. I'm going back to Zubac rebounds again. It cashed for me last time, and it's only sitting there at 8.5 again. Mavs just don't have a lot of presence in the paint, so I'm looking at him dominating down there and just sitting down there collecting the boards.
This Clippers team, man. I mean, I it's that might be some of the least amount of chemistry I've ever seen on an NBA team. I mean, they just like they don't even hardly talk to each other. It's pretty crazy. And
The video of Harden walking into the locker room didn't seem like it was very comfortable with him entering, joining the team. So
yeah, yeah. I am bummed though. We like the Mavericks under their win total. They're like 6-2. However, they've beaten some bad teams, so I'm not totally panicking yet here. So Lakers and the Suns. I got nothing on this game until we know what's. I don't know. Both these teams I really don't want to be betting on. I can't figure out this Phoenix team because Beal's always a game time decision. Davis game time decision. These Lakers are stay away from me.
this game's a stay away from me too, with so many question marks with the injuries.
Thunder and Kings, 231 kind of seems just a touch low. The Kings are not very good. Fox is not there. But I feel like if Fox was there and the Kings were clicking on all cylinders, they would be they'd be favorites at home, but they're not. They're really struggling. Thunder's a little bit young. These teams are fast. They're not very good on defense. I could see an over here. I just can't pick one guy that I want to go over. I guess you go with SGA, but I don't know. Over, I guess, for me.
Yeah, I'm with you. I would lean over on this one as well. And SGA, he's been a consistent guy that's cleared his rebound plus assist total, but this one is just leans for me on this one. Nothing too strong.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about some NHL. Once again, hit the like button and leave us a comment. Tell us what's going right. Tell us how's your road to millions are going. Surely we had some wins last night in that NFL. NFL. God, what a terrible game. One
Brutal.
offensive touchdown. One?
Yeah,
That's
it
your
was rough,
best?
man.
It's terrible. So let us know in the comment section. Let's talk NHL. All right, we've been talking about it all week. Nylander, here he is. Streak sits at 16. I'm laying off. I'm laying off. I'm not going to play him to not have a point. I'm guessing he gets a point tonight, and then I'm going to come back tomorrow, and I'm going to get plus 180 or plus 190 against Vancouver. It's a back-to-back for Toronto. Vancouver only allows 2 goals a game. The Maple Leafs are really struggling right now. Steve, you said you were looking at a message board, and everyone's been loving this Nylander points thing, and they're all over it again, huh?
Yeah, the Nylander points over is a popular, parlay piece because it's heavily juiced. Obviously, it just seems like it's destined to happen this weekend. And I'm leaning towards maybe the second game as well. But I think that tonight you could roll the dice and play the plus money tonight. And if he does get it, go right back to it tomorrow, and you'll come out on top as long as you hit one of the two.
Any other guys that you're looking at for hockey?
Yeah, the one that really stands out to me is Petrangelo from Vegas, over 2.5 shots on goal, sitting there at plus 100, and he's hit it in his last three with 5, 3, and 5. We got the Sharks coming into this one on a back-to-back, and just last night they allowed 13 shots to the opposing defenseman from Edmonton. So
Hmm.
give me his over on this one.
Petrangelo, I can't even find it. Gosh, there it is. Here, let's pull up the prop stat cash. There you go. Yeah, you can't argue this one. Uh, can't argue
And
the matchup.
you get a nice price on it, and then you get the Sharks, winded on the back to back. And like I said last night, the defensemen were firing away. Another defenseman look that could catch your eye. It's a high number at 3.5, but Dougie Hamilton, he has been clearing his shots on goal consistently since Hughes went down. There's been a lot more shots on the table for them, and if you look at he's cleared in his last 5. And yeah, just without Hughes out there, there's just so many more shots available for Dougie.
2 of the NHL plays that we've cashed this week are on the flip side. Guys to not have a point. TJ Oshie doesn't have a point. Ricard Raquel did not have a point for us last night in the cash. And I mean, Steve, I'm going back to TJ Oshie. When we look at his points to not have a point, this is 2 out of his last 18 games that he's had a point, going back to last season. It's just not working. The matchup worries me. His 1 point was actually against the Devils, who they play tonight. That was a game they scored 6 goals on 24 shots. Like, the goaltending was horrific. So it wasn't like they just peppered 40 shots on goal and he gets an assist. Like, he barely gets there. Minus 135, man, as long as they keep dropping, as long as these are below minus 140, I think you got to take them. Like, look at the Devils. Like, 29th in goals allowed, but 17th in shots on goal allowed. So I watched that game. He just looks a little slow, man. He's 36 years old. It just doesn't look like it's there for him. And this Washington team is terrible. They have 4 goals in the last 3 games. So
Yeah, I don't have one of those for tonight, but we also got the Anders Lee. That was another one. These are some good looks on these point unders.
I
I mean,
love these.
it was negative 180, but he didn't get a point against Boston. And you talk about age; he's 33 himself. And so he's another guy you could look towards in the future if he's only got 2 points. now this season, and they came earlier in the year. So that he's not playing tonight, but it's just one you could look towards in the future.
Yeah, I mean, Killorn for Anaheim, he hasn't played. He hasn't played. What has he played? Yeah, 2 games. But he doesn't have a point. He's got a tough matchup tonight. They're out there. I'm gonna keep playing these, and they suck to watch. I'll be honest. I do not like watching games when you have a guy to not have a point. Actually, I don't know what's worse. To guy to have do you want to watch when you have a guy to have a point or guy to not have a point? I guess they're all nerve wracking.
When you think about it, they both are can be brutal at times. But those unders, that's the one thing about it. You're signing up for the whole game. You know what I mean? You're locked in basically for the whole time, because especially when you're talking about an under, half of a point, and that's just, that's one that you can't even
It's
kind
true.
of get to the point when 10 minutes left. You're like, okay, we got this one under control. No, because at any point one slips through there and you're done.
Yeah, it's 3-1, and the goalie's going to the bench, and he's out there 6-on-5, and you're like, oh god.
Yeah.
so, all right, guys, that is going to do it for us. Don't forget to use the promo code ALL30. Gets $50 off a 30-day pass. It includes all sports and all percentages. NFL 5% play is up for this weekend. NCAA team total is up. NHL best bet. You can see we've just been crushing NCAA 8-2 this season. NHL 9-5 so far, 3-0 this week, and women's college basketball. It looks like the lines are coming out mid-afternoon for women's college basketball, but it's always fluctuating, so we'll do the best that we can on those. So bear with us. So don't forget to join us Sunday. We're going to get you ready for all of the NFL games, and that is when Steve and I will make the special announcement. But myself, Steve, and Corbin will be there. We'll go over the anytime touchdowns. We'll go over same game parlays, alt lines, and all of the final player prop lines and give you some best bets. So good luck. Let's have a great weekend. We're off to a great start this week. Good luck. We'll see everyone Sunday morning on the Road to Millions.
Good luck.